And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we have returned with our quarterfinals with our second series of the night. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Team Vitality. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's time for predictions. Predictions are now open in the chat. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series and who you think will advance on into the next round. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. What I will say, especially about these two facing off, even though we saw MaxPax fall to Shin last week, Shin was very aggressive and very all-in. Like, Shin was very just in the face of MaxPax throughout the entire series and was able to cheese the hell out of MaxPax in that best of 5. Solar isn't necessarily that kind of player. Solar can go for all-ins, don't get me wrong. I mean, we saw it in the series against Trigger. Solar can go for all-ins, but he's not as chaotic as Shin, so this should be a more even back and forth. I should say it should be a more standard game out of Solar, and MaxPax should be feeling a lot more comfortable against it. But we'll see. We'll see how this series does turn out. For the time being, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Solar. Likewise, MaxPax going for the gate expand into Cybercore into his tech of choice, most likely Stargate. So we can settle in. So far, everything looking as it should. And we'll see where this takes us. Another big factor, of course, of this game, of this first game, I should say, is the map. We're loading into Ghost River, very short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map. I'm sure that's a big reason why Trigger did go for a 2-base all-in on Ghost River as well, just because it hits that much harder, it hits that much faster. So that can lead to either player being more aggressive. Can lead to, doesn't mean it will. Keep down our players. Likewise, Stargate has been thrown down. Is going to be that Stargate opener for MaxPax. Likewise, across the map, going for the pylon block as well. Just letting the third, being as annoying as possible, forcing to cancel, and Solar can now expand. Was delayed by a couple of seconds. Ideally, we did want to delay the expansion by the time the Adept arrives, can actually kill and shut down that drone. But Solar was able to expand in time. The Adept arrives a couple seconds too late, and Solar takes his third. Third base going to get up and running. Adept throws a shade into the natural. We have a unit of choice. It's going to be an Oracle opener for MaxPax. No big surprise there. Did open up singular Adept into Stalker. Interesting. So MaxPax not committing to early game Adept harass. Just the one for scouting. Just pokes in and backs up. So MaxPax is going to be hunting down that Overlord, zoning it away, keeping Solar in the dark. And even getting a kill on the Overlord. Yeah, it's just a mismovement here from Solar. Overlord is going to go down. Lings, they come in for a surround, but the Stalker does get away in time. Solar gets ice on the third, but there's an Oracle to defend. And MaxPax so far does hold. Second Oracle has arrived. MaxPax can now move out. Again, after in the mineral lines of Solar. And back at home, we have a Spore in the natural. We have 2 Queens and a Spore in the main. 2 Queens in the third. So far, so good. Oracle's a thread in the third. Second Queen arrives just in time, but the Spore's not ready. Yeah, the Spore barely not ready in time. 3 drones fall. And we don't get a fourth. Ooh, forcing an overreaction from Solar. Solar does flinch. MaxPax gets away. Behind this, Forge and Twilight Council, +1 and Blink. Third Oracle has arrived, but Queens aren't ready for it. And the Queens are ready. And we'll see if MaxPax can find some more damage. So far, it's been 3 drone kills. Now has 5 adepts. And Thread in the Shade. Queens are keeping up. Double Oracle. Oof, they get denied. Adepts, they do Shade into the natural, though. And Solar, he's more than ready. Oracle goes down. Drones, they do pull away in time. Still going to be 3 drone kills. Oracle getting workers here at the 3rd. Adept shading into the main. And the worker kills are stacking up. Getting up to 7 drones. Ay, ay, ay. Now, winding it back, that was 7 worker kills for 5 adepts. So, not the best trade for MaxPax. Did want a little bit more value out of that, especially after losing all those adepts. Back at home, we spoke about the follow-up. Plus on a blink. MaxPax is selling into his 3 bases, and Solar's done well for himself. Solar, he minimizes losses, getting up to a 4th expansion. Didn't really lose many workers. So far, so good. Ooh, and Solar is throwing down the Infestation Pit. Interesting. Okay, the Infestation Pit's on the way. Stalkers are moving out. Uh-oh. MaxPax is getting up to 7 gateways, and I imagine a proxy 8th gateway across the map. MaxPax being hyper aggressive. Yeah, Pylon's almost done. Lings do confirm. They will go for the probe though. But the gateway gets thrown down, and this is going to be a 3-base all-in for MaxPax. It's been a while since I've seen this on Ghost River. This used to be very trendy, very popular. Hero popularized this a couple of months ago at the start of the year. And MaxPax, he's just committing. He's doubling down. The reason why this 3-base all-in is so popular is because of this choke point. Lings, they can't surround. How do they engage? This choke point is brutal. And it means that MaxPax, he's relatively safe here in this location. Can keep pushing. Lings are falling left and right. Solar taking up into an infestation, but was just a little bit too greedy. And Solar's in trouble. Queens are going down, Roaches are going down, MaxPax, he is overwhelming. Solar, he was not expecting the all-in, and GG gets called. MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Against Solar, he was getting ready for a longer game. He was getting a 4th expansion, taking up into an infestation bit, working on upgrades. Solar was caught with his pants down. And yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen that build out of I mean, any Protoss player really on Ghost River. Hero used to be very fond of it. Again, this is back, you know, closer to the start of the year. These 3-base 8-gate all-ins can be brutal, and with that, MaxPax takes a lead. Now we're jumping into game number 2. Oh, siema, papi, siema. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. So getting to that second game. And again, I was myself even caught a little bit off guard. Like, if I was expecting a player to go all in, I was expecting it to be Solar, but no, MaxPax is looking to be the aggressor himself. He is mixing it up. Taking a page out of Hero's book. Now we're settling into game number 2. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have our Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, for Team Vitality. It is Solar. Oh, we're going for the gold. Here we go. So it's going to be Solar's turn to be the aggressor here. He's headed towards the gold base. Oh, never mind. Okay. Mines through the minerals. Going for the expansion. Going for the gold. And we'll see how long it takes for MaxPax to recognize what's going on. To figure out where exactly Solar is. We speak about this all the time, but the Korean Protoss players are really good at punishing this. We've seen Classic alongside Trap and Hero punish this quite hard with a forge response, with a cannon rush. I'm curious if MaxPax is one to do the same. So MaxPax, he will scout, he will get eyes, and he will get confirmation of the expansion. MaxPax is aware. Behind this hatch gas pool opener here out of Solar. And MaxPax just going for a gate into Cybercore. Now, this is a little bit more tech heavy than normal. Usually the opener for Protoss is gate expand into Cybercore. With the Cybercore being earlier, that does mean that the Adept Harass is going to be a little bit earlier as well. So MaxPax is going to be more active early on. The main night is upon us. Going to be saturating the gold. I'm curious as well if MaxPax does go into Glaive Adept from here. That's the first Adept is being chronoed. First Adept is on the way. And it is going to be the Stargate follow-up. I imagine going into Oracles. First Adept has arrived. We'll be shading across the map. It's going to be on Solar to knock down these rocks, actually save that mineral line. That first Adept has already made it. This shouldn't get any workers, but does get one. One drone goes down. Two drones go down. Already a rough start for Solar, getting almost a third drone as well. Forcing out an Evo chamber. A strong start for MaxPax. Second Adept has arrived. Again, the Adept Harass did begin earlier than normal, just because of the initial build. Just because of the opener of MaxPax. They will even bully these Lings. Get 2, 3 Lings going down. Ling speed is still a ways off. Oracle's on the way. MaxPax shading into the main. Oh, bit of a mistargeting there. Just gets the one Ling. Yeah, it does waste some shots. But gets a drone. No. Yeah, gets a worker. Forces out another Evo chamber. Shades out. But so far, this has been quite a bit of damage already. MaxPax doing well for himself. Adepts are still alive. The Lings do miss them. Uh oh. And again, two Adepts, they one-shot drones. They're shading into the main base. The boys forced to be pulled away. Solar panicking for a moment. Yeah, Oracle coming in. Drones are going down. It's going to be another 3 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. No mining in the main base whatsoever. Denied mining. Lings move out. Oracle's in position. And MaxPax takes the third. So, despite the gold base for Solar, and he has been able to keep it up and running, that's true, but he's lost 7 drones already, 13 Lings. Lings hit the third base, but Oracle's in position. Out of energy, though. Massive pickoff. And the third base is going to be denied. Yeah, the second Oracle is just a little bit too late. And Solar will contain MaxPax to 2 bases. Not bad at all. Initially, MaxPax was doing well. MaxPax, he was killing a lot of workers, he was denying mining, he was trading well with Lings. It was a better start for MaxPax. And then suddenly, Solar shows up, and he denies the third. Over and over and over again. Queens are waddling in, Lings are putting across the map as well. Solar's just not allowing the third base to get up and running. Takes down the Adept. MaxPax still contained. Force third and a shield battery. Behind this, Solar, he's teching. Going for a Roach Warren. Roach Warren is on the way. Oracles, they will hit the golds. Oh my god. Getting 4 drones. MaxPax doing this. Meanwhile, the wall is wide open. No shield battery, no overcharge. The Stalkers are going down. Oh, massive pickoffs. He gets 2. Gets 2 Stalkers. Floods into the main. And Lings, they are getting some economic damage. Probes are falling. And more importantly, no third. No third expansion. Solar, he makes sure of that. He's in position. Goes to the probe. Once again, probe goes down. Third base is denied. That's all that Solar is hoping for. Now, Solar hasn't been making roaches. Bear that in mind. He's droning. Solar's been droning. Solar's been taking gases, getting into a lair, and working towards roach speed. So because Solar has dealt so much damage early on, Solar can now just calm things down, get into the mid game, and snowball out of control. Right now, the pressure is on MaxPax, not just to take a third base, but to get some kind of counter damage. MaxPax has 2 oracles. One of them's across the map. MaxPax does scout the lair. And MaxPax can't really do much without Blink. We'll grow some creep. It's a good start. Gets a couple of tumors. Things move in. Getting a worker. Getting one probe. Solar, he's on a 3-base economy. Getting a 4th base, I imagine, just for larva. And now Solar's focusing on his army. Now he's building up Ling Roach Ravager. He's building up his main army. Mainliness also on the way. And we'll see if MaxPax can survive this. I mean, clearing up all this creep does give him some breathing room. That is true. Oh. Does buy him some time. Solar's still building up. Respreading that creep. Mainliness almost done. Oh, going for the Ravager. Not bad. Ravager gets sniped. 2 left. This goes off. Solar knocks down those rocks, ready for a counterattack. Or even a potential surround. So once again, MaxPax, he pulls back to the stasis trap, catching out a lot of Lings. Roaches are exposed. Very nice pickoffs. I mean, so far the Blink control has been solid here for MaxPax. But it's still a numbers game. Again, he's playing with fire out in the open. He's up a lot of Lings. Behind this plus 1 range, almost done. Solar still hasn't really droned up too much. He's up to 69 workers. Just over 3-base saturation. I mean, more than that with the gold. Well, MaxPax now has his first Colossus. Colossus has arrived. Solar's about to max out. But again, forcing a fight out here in the open, and especially with all these choke points, is ideal. That's all MaxPax wants. Solar's going to try and collapse in. Stage traps are getting triggered. Solar's have to retreat. The Colossus! No! Colossus is exposed. And it is going to go down. A massive pick off Bailey's hit the mineral line. Shield battery does fall. And Solar, he's going for the kill. He's going for at least a 3rd base. But he wants more than that. Yeah, the expansion is going to fall. Likewise, 4th base is exposed. 16 probes go down. And despite the initial engage, despite the trades with the main army, and they have been sold for MaxPax, what about the economy? What about the economy? As 24 workers are going down and counting. MaxPax just cannot sustain this. Not anymore, Pat. 31 probe kills. The expansion survives, or it finishes, and that means it can be killed. It means it's not going to be cancelled. The Nexus can be targeted down. MaxPax trying to hold his own. And getting his trades earlier was solid, but no economy. No economy behind it. The expansion is going to fall. And GG gets called. Solar ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. That was a very, very tense game. Again, a lot of it did come down to denying the third. if you recall, MaxPax had the better start. MaxPax, he was able to get a lot of economic damage, able to trade well against the Lings. MaxPax was doing very well with his early Adept and Oracle harass, but didn't matter in the end because his third base was denied. Over and over again, the third base was cancelled. He was contained on 2 bases. He was losing workers. Solar is able to maintain a pretty substantial economic lead. Is what it came down to. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Whew. We're now getting into game number 3. We go. We are getting into the ace match. And we're going to be loading into a bit of a smaller map. Going to be loading into Oceanborn. Oh boy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Vitality. It is Solar. Here we go. So, game 1, MaxPax went for a 3-base all-in. Game 2, we had Solar take advantage of the gold, and also just contain his opponent. Here in game 3, what's it going to be? Again, Solar has been very fond of all-ins on Oceanborn, at least in months past. Is that still going to be the case here against MaxPax, or does he take a different approach? Curious. I'm going to be curious here to see how Solar does approach this. Likewise, MaxPax has also shown us that he's willing to be the aggressor as well. He's willing to go all in. So nothing is off the table. As for now, standard opener from the Zerg. It's going to be a standard opener. Whereas back at home, gate expand into Cybercore, standard opener as well. From MaxPax. And we're settling in. Are going to be settling in here. Now, when it comes to like aggression on Oceanborn, and what I'm referring to when I do mention that Solo loves to go for all-ins, is how vulnerable this third base is. Unlike some other maps, Alkiona, for example, the map that we're just on, there is no high ground advantage. On Alkiona, there is a ramp. There's a ramp leading into the third base, so you do have that kind of point of elevation and a greater choke point to make use of, and a concave, and the defensive advantage is just stronger on a map like Alkiona, for example. Here on Oceanborn, that isn't the case. The point of elevation on the third base is the same here on the attack path as well, as the ramp is further out in the center of the map. So because of that, Queen Walks and Queen All-Ins and German Taxis and all that stuff is a little bit more commonplace. But we'll see if Solar does go for that. For now, just calming things down. Adepts are threatening a shade. Top of that, the path across the map is more direct. So far, MaxPax moving out with this first two Adepts. Does get a Ling. Almost a drone, but not quite. I spoke too soon. Gets one. Gets one worker, gets barely a second drone as well. 2 drones for 2 Adepts. Not the best trade for MaxPax. Was hoping for better than a 1-to-1 trade. So I would say a better defense for Solar. Was forced to pull the boys away and did force some lost mining time, but overall, better defense for the Zerg player. Link speed kicks in, Links move out, it's going to be on Solar to delay the third for as long as possible. The Oracle does get eyes on this, and the Oracle does turn back home. And we saw earlier in the last game how devastating it can be if MaxPax can't get a third. So he takes it seriously. Means that the first Oracle does not get across the map, but he defends. He defends, second Oracle has arrived. Ling's rotating back in. And MaxPax is more than ready for this. The Lings are zoned away. And MaxPax will establish his third. Solo trying to be cheeky, but it doesn't find a way in. Back at home is running up. And what do we have to defend? We have a Spore in the main, we have a Spore at the third base. No Spore at the natural, but there are 4 queens. Ooh, and Solar even investing into a third Spore. Interesting. This is where I cut to Solar during... Oh god, was it EWC? No, it was before that. Solar, he had an interview where he was like, in ZVP, if you have to make a third Spore, then you lose. Solar, he was very adamant about that. And most pro players, they do avoid that third Spore, but Solar does go for it. There's going to be 3 drone kills. Gets an Overlord. I mean, in my mind, this shows me that Solar, he's respecting the Oracle aggression quite highly. He's giving a lot of respect to it. Adepts, they threaten a shade. MaxPax threading the natural, sorry, threading the third. Good for the queen. And does shade into the main. He's just trying to keep up. It looks like Solar, he will lock this down. 2 Adepts do get on top of the high ground, but alas, yeah, not many worker kills. Solar does defend. Shuts down the Adepts, shuts down the Oracles. Preserves his workers. And Solar can now focus on droning. Now, Solar did make an abundance of Lings, and he has to make use of them. Time to counterattack. Back at home, no shield batteries yet. There is potential to maybe get a pylon, maybe a stalker, but there's an Oracle. Yeah, there's an Oracle chilling back at home. MaxPax is safe and sound, and he's taking up into a Temple Archives. Unlike game number 1, for example, we're not going to be seeing a 3-base all-in out of MaxPax. No all-in, no major form of aggression. Is taking into Archons and Storm. And soon to be a 4th expansion as well. MaxPax moving out, we're going to apply some pressure. Solar going for the Spire. Bold move. We saw Solar make use of Muta play against Trigger earlier. In the brackets, in the tournament. We'll see if he can have better success against MaxPax. Wings are denied. MaxPax setting up his Stasis traps so he can just fall back to them. Decent baits from Solar, but he still has to buy more time for more Ling Roach. Forcing back the army, now the Stasis goes up. But Solar, he does hold. Does hold, gets eyes on the 4th. Isn't able to deny. Solar is keeping MaxPax busy. He's keeping up. And that also means no scout. No scout into the natural. MaxPax is in the dark as to what's going on. Is unaware of the mutants. Storm is almost done. Solar catching a Stalker, not bad. Just gets the one though. Oh god. Suddenly knowledge worth it. So at the same time, hits the natural. Going for the Stalker. Stalker is going to go down, but there is a recall in time. And MaxPax is ready for this. Solar has to retreat. We're going to just distracting the Protoss player and getting to Mutas. 13 Mutas are on the way. Behind this, MaxPax doesn't have any stack defense that is natural, nor the main. So MaxPax is vulnerable. He has cannons and shield batteries at the 3rd and 4th. Doesn't have them anywhere else. We'll see if Solar can get some damage done here. Once again, Solar is investing into +1 air attack. That tells us that Solar most likely wants to invest into mass muta. And there we go, 6 more mutas on the way. Solar does hit the natural, does break in. It goes to the cannon, goes to the shield battery as well. MaxPax forced to turn around. And Solar, he does get into the mineral lines. Links into the natural, mutas into the main. And again, no side defense ready for this. MaxPax caught with his pants down. Probes are falling left and right. Oh, will be able to trade against the mutas. Solar has to get the hell out of here. Does pull away. Oh. And not quite catching the oracles. Roach is still wreaking havoc. They do force in some Archons. Not bad. Storms are forced out. And Solar, he gets 34 probe kills. He does cripple the economy. But he's forced back home. MaxPax, he has a moment to breathe. Okay, looking at his army, he has 2 Archons. They're here at the natural. We have a handful of High Templar. Soon to be Storm. A little bit more time here to actually gather energy for the Storm, though. And the main base is still exposed, but not much to kill in the main. One muta goes down. Storm's coming in. Massive connection. Oof. Yeah, the mutas are softened up. And more Storms, though. Again, it is a very delicate dance for Solar. Solar's up in supply, but all it takes is a couple of solid Archon shots or a Storm, and this army is just going to crumble. It is a glass cannon here for Solar. Oof. And MaxPax, he has spread out his army quite nicely. Spread out. Solar trying to dive in. Stasis goes off. Solar does catch an Archon. Gets 1, gets 2. To take a lot of damage though. Has to back off. Oh my god. Big chunk of mutas going down. That was 12 mutas. Oof. 12 mutas falling. Solar behind this, taking another expansion. Taking the gases. I would love to see a Hive behind this, but now he's still on lair tech. Does hit the natural. Gets into the mineral line. Oh! He's gonna bleed out a lot of mutas though. And Solar is going for the Baneling Nest. Not for the Hive. Still focusing on mass muta. Oof. Takes another Archon shot to the face. Losing up to 20 mutas so far. And MaxPax, he's slowly building up an army, and very similar to what we saw with Trigger. Solar, initially he does a lot of damage, but now he hasn't really traded well in quite some time. And if he doesn't, then MaxPax is going to break out. He's going to break out with a massive amount of Archons, with Storm, with Stalkers, and Solar won't be able to stop it. As MaxPax is building up a death bull of an army. Solar does get into the mineral line though. Okay, not bad. Takes down 12, 13 workers. Phoenix as well. Avoids the main army. And this is the damage that Solar was hoping for. This is what he needed. Does catch MaxPax out of position. 19 worker kills. Oof. Mutas take a lot of damage. Behind this, Solar going into Hydras. But the Lings, they hit the 4th. And MaxPax getting pulled apart. 25 probe kills. Now, basically, Solar had 2 options. It was either go into a Hive and get into Ultras, or try to get into Lurker production. Hydras is an interesting choice, and I do think this does lead into Lurkers, but I don't know if Solar can get there. I'll be honest. The expansion's going to go down, and MaxPax is all in, and this is still a terrifying army. No. The army is terrifying. It's going to be Ling Bane, Hydra to defend. These are slow Banes as well. Baneling Speed finishing up in a couple of seconds. Can Solar defend without Lurkers? That's the question. Oh, the Storms are going to be brutal. Lings, they come in from behind, forcing out another Storm. Up. Banelings are crashing in. They take down all the High Templar. 0 Storms left. 0 Storms remaining. The Hydras, they for the most part did survive. The base is going to go down. Solar has to evacuate. And he's remaxing with Lings. And without Storm, Solar can take this. Solar, he can engage. Not for creep. So Expansion's gonna fall. Mutas taking it into the main. More probes going down. Solar, he's amassing more Link Bane. So far, it's looking good. My biggest concern was Storm, but there's only one High Templar on the map. Right there in the center of the army. Again, one Storm is not good enough. MaxPax, he knows. He backs off. He retreats. Solar's remaxing. He wants that High Templar. He wants it. Oh, there's a Storm. The final Storm for MaxPax. Fourth base did fall. Main base mineral line as well. Again, MaxPax is hurting. He's still all in, and the longer this goes on, the better it is for Solar. Investing into more upgrades, still trading out more Link Bane. There are some more High Templar morphing in though. Uh-oh. So let us get one. But now we're up to how many? Four. Four High Templar. Soon to be 4 Storms. Solar's not out of the woods yet. Again, Solar attempting to trade. Reinforced with more Lings. And 1 or 2 more Storms, and MaxPax can take this. High Templar, no! High Templar are exposed. But down goes the Link Bane. And MaxPax getting on top of the Hydras. Going for the dive. But reinforcements are coming in. Solar, he's barely holding on. Again, may have to give up on the expansion. Archon's pushing forward. Oh my god, the concave barely in favor of Solar. Takes out every single Archon. And now he's going for the Stalkers. GG gets called. Solar defends. Solar survives. And Solar will take the series 2-1. Eliminating MaxPax from the tournament. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Last week it was Shin. Last week Shin took down MaxPax, and this week it is Solar to deny MaxPax a deeper run in the tournament. GG, congratulations. Solar will advance on, and MaxPax is knocked out. Whew. GG, well played. A very, very intense series. Very intense game. And it looks like we have our next series, actually. Okay, we're hopping over. We are hopping over. So, Soul advances on to the semifinals. Shin took down Showtime 2-0. Big win for Shin. And Shin is also in the upper semis as well. And now we are jumping in mid-series. Clem versus Creator is coming up next, and we are jumping into the ace match. Now, the reason why we're hopping over is because we are casting both semifinals. So because of that, Solar's next series is going to be delayed. It's going to be on hold until we wrap up with these upper matches.